Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage playthrough. It is time to enter the Forest of Thorns.
Terra, Ven. Are they phantoms? I don't care if they are. Or if I fall into the darkness. I miss them. Get out of my way!
So yes, the Forest of Thorns is quite clearly the remnants of the Enchanted Dominion after it fell to darkness. And yes, I don't know whether we've only just unlocked the teleportation ability, but we've got the teleportation ability. So if we wanted to, we could go back to Castletown or to the world within. We don't need to. We're not going to. So that's fine. So pretty much your key objectives that you'll get here are destroying a certain number of vines. Yeah, prickly problem. Destroy 50 ivy branches. That's pretty easy. Find fairy bouquet. It's also pretty easy. There's just 3 coloured flowers littered around the world. It's really not that challenging. And we're really not getting many excellent items, but I will say that that lace is quite pretty, but I'm not going to attach it because I feel that that would just not help. Also, I'm just trying to get rid of all of the new things, because it always drives me potty whenever I see anything that says new. It's been driving me potty in Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm just like, no, get rid of the new, I don't need the new! Even though I do, I want the new. It sends my OCD into a little bit of a crazy place. I will also say the fact that a whole bunch of the objectives don't unlock until you get to the New Game Plus also sends me a little bit wappy. It's like, don't tell me that there's 51 objectives to complete in this if there's not 51 objectives to complete in this particular run. Only open those up to me when I start my New Game Plus. So I would have quite liked it if they had gone with the option of saying there are 35 kind of main objectives available to you in the main game, and then once you start New Game Plus you can then unlock another sort of 50. I think that would have made me feel a lot happier about that whole objective thing. It would have just made a lot more sense, I feel. Because, I mean, honestly, 51 as a total of objectives is a bit of a weird number. And I don't know why you would choose 51 in any way, shape or form. I suppose it might make sense in one thing of one of them being complete all other objectives. But still. Now I will say that I do actually really like the Forest of Thorns. I think that it's one of the well, I mean, to be fair, all of the areas in this game are interesting, but I suppose what I'm trying to get at is that it's the one that is the most realistic upon falling to darkness, and that obviously it would become completely overrun by Maleficent's thorns. And that's quite a cool idea to sort of roll with, I suppose. And before we continue onwards, I was here thinking, is that the way forward, or is that sort of optional stuff? That's optional stuff up here, so of course we're going to go for it. got a bunch of these flutterings hanging about, which is annoying when, you know, I just want a chest and then to murder them. But, I mean, particularly when they do things like that, I'm just like, why are you dive bombing? I don't really need you to dive bomb me. I just want to, you know, battle you. Because when you fall all the way down there, I don't know where you are, and while I could obviously chase you, that opens me up to missing out on all that sweet experience. Also, I'm using a lot of items in this run, I've realised. It's probably for the best, because it means that I am making the most of what I pick up, and also it means that I'm not dying, which is the important thing. One thing I have noticed, however, is that there are there seems to be a limit on how many items you can use in a single battle in this game. I don't know whether that is... whether I'm correct in that or not. It's something that ultimately screwed me over in the final boss of 0.2. Which was really, really, really infuriating. But there we go. Well, I might as well tell you since, you know, you're not going to see it. So, I got down to... I ended up having to use a few items in order to ensure that I was trying to be victorious, because it's a very easy boss to get hit by, is the final boss of 0.2. And I was just sort of, you know, doing my best to stay alive. But ultimately, I didn't have a Kiraga free at hand because my MP was down, so I believe I tried to just pull in a Mega Potion, or it might have been a Mega Elixir, and the game just wouldn't let me use it. Which is what leads me to believe that you're not allowed to use more than a certain number of items in a battle in here. I don't know whether that's thankfully something that they've gotten rid of in Kingdom Hearts 3. I've not come across it yet, but then to be fair, I've not needed it quite so much as here, which could in part be due to the gameplay being a lot kind of cleaner and a lot smoother in KH3 than it is here. It could also be that the sort of movement capabilities are a lot smoother as well, but oh, good lord. Hello, Darkside.
You really think you can keep me away from my friends?
Every time he turns up in every single game, part of me just goes, oh look, it's you again. The other part of me is just really, really, really happy and excited. I'm just like, oh look, it's you again, Darkside! I'm a man of two halves with these sorts of things, just going, I get really excited by the smallest things, but then also I'm really difficult to impress. Honestly, I don't quite know where my brain should sit with that. Part of me feels like maybe a little bit of consistency in the way my brain works would be nice. Because obviously, either being entirely cynical or entirely excitable would be nice. But then I suppose that I would be even more of a crazy person if I was just purely one of those two extremes. Because, it'd just be weird. And I will say, I really like that because I have double flight, I can now just jump up to his head. Just thinking back to all of the old Darkside fights, where it was such a nightmare to even attempt to get to his head. It's ridiculous, but this is a much more enjoyable Darkside fight than I'd say sort of really any of the others, even though I would say that he is on the easy side, but really, to be fair, outside of perhaps Phantom Aqua and the demon tide / tower. Most of the fights in this game are pretty easy. I think the slight issue is that Aqua doesn't really have that much health. At least not nearly as much as you would expect to have if you were around level 50. So you die quicker than you would do otherwise. Yeah, we're going to be experiencing a lot of dark sides as we climb our way through the Forest of Thorns. And I believe that there's an objective. I don't know if it's an objective or whether it is a trophy or something, but there's something. It might even be in the New Game Plus objectives. As we make our way towards the end of this, we're going to come across a dark side holding a ball. And basically, we want to not get hit by that at all. Which obviously, as you can imagine for me, is basically impossible. Like, getting hit by enemies is pretty much what I do on a daily basis. Even in Bayonetta, where the name of the game is don't get hit by the enemies. I mean, it's the aim of the game in most games, but obviously Bayonetta ranks you on your ability to not take any damage. Whereas here, you don't get ranked on that, but obviously it still helps, because if you don't take damage, you don't die, which is always helpful. Also, I really love Thundaza. It's just so cool. I will also say is that while it clearly took Square Enix a little bit of time to get used to the Unreal Engine 4 and its quirks and how it works, I do think that it is definitely the best thing to have happened to the Kingdom Hearts engine in a long time. Because even though I would not say that all of the other Kingdom Hearts games are ugly, far from it, I think that they look great. And to be honest, outside of Default Face, they all stand up today, just because the art style is just so damn good. But the switch to Unreal Engine 4 has allowed for just some truly incredible, actually, just truly incredible visuals. I mean, you would not have been able to pull these things off in any of the earlier titles. There's so much visually going on here that it just would not have been possible. And I mean, when you then take that to obviously everything that Kingdom Hearts 3 achieves, it's just wow. It's incredible. And it just makes me really very happy. And oh, there we go, thank God I don't have to continue obliterating thorns willy-nilly. I can just continue forward, and if I happen to murder a thorn, I can murder a thorn, but like I'm in here, where I need to slaughter that in order to pick something up, that's okay, but I'm not doing it because I just have to kill thorns. I maybe didn't have to be quite so determined to murder every single thorn of Ivy as I went along, but at least now I can just sort of run as much as I want to and not have to worry about these things. Yeah, there's a couple of these dark sides along the route, bursting out orbs from their chests. And yeah, this could have gone really, really badly south had I not had any of those items on hand. And if I hadn't managed to get straight into a Kiraga right there, because that... yeah. My ability to dodge and block in this game is pretty appalling. Like, looking back at it now, I'm just like seriously, mate? What were you doing? Like, this is clearly pretty average to poor gameplay. And I'm not really sure why that is. I think it is just that there is that slight delay in how some of it works. Everything's a little bit floatier, and the timings are just a little bit peculiar. And I just, yeah, got really confused by it all, and I didn't realise there was an enemy there, but we murdered him all the same. Clearly I just got very lucky in setting him, well, like, turning him to ice, and then just lost him, and was like, yeah, great. And, well, there's the blue flower, so I think we only have one more to pick up, because I think we've... I don't know why the other one was, because I seem to recall it being white, and it shouldn't be white, it should be either red or green, because obviously they are colour-coded after Flora, Fauna and Merryweather. So obviously we just picked up Merryweather's flower there, because obviously Merryweather was blue. Flora's red and Fauna's green. Yeah, that's the way to go. I had to think for a moment. I was just like, have I got them the right way around? No, I'm pretty sure I have. Unlike Huey, Dewey and Louie, which I can never remember which colour's which. At least I know who Scrooge McDuck is. I can identify Scrooge from a mile away. And I like how in saying Scrooge McDuck ended up sliding into a slight approximation of a Scottish accent. Because of course I do. Well, so Terra and Ben are just sort of guiding us along the way. And it's like, great guys, thank you very much, but you're not helping me destroy these enemies, and I'm going to have to go do that whole jumping sequence all over again. But I suppose once the enemies here are destroyed, I can just deal with that then, and not have to worry about it nearly as much. So I can just jump, grab my treasure chest and get out of here. So, what was in this oh, it was just a high potion, I suppose. Should have expected that. And, yes, surprise, there's a third dark side in here. He's actually one that you can miss, because there is an objective for defeating all 3 dark sides in the Forest of Thorns. This guy is missable. All the others, very easy to spot, very easy to just go in and kill. This guy you have to sort of slightly go out of your way for, but clearly, obviously, if you've got a bunch of Faragas on hand, then he dies very quickly. But I think that this pretty much sorts us out for the Forest of Thorns. There's just a little bit further to go, and then it's going to railroad us into a bit of an experience, shall we say. Yeah, Fluttering, could you come to me? I'm not going to chase after you because I've already climbed up this thing multiple times. I'm not going to do it again. Okay, fine, I'll go for you, but nobody else. Oh, good, you came back to me so I could kill you. Thank you very much for being so kind. Oh, bloody hell, not more! I swear, if I end up falling down that crevice again, I'm gonna absolutely flip. Let's ring. I know you're here because the music's still going. So, where have you gone? Did you decide to just run away? I mean, I'm fine with that, but it would have been nice if, you know, you could have died before I had to say goodbye. Like these guys, who are definitely saying farewell to me. And I'm pretty sure that the last flower is hidden somewhere around here. It's in this sort of extra thorny area. If you basically just search every single little nook along this path, you will undoubtedly find it. I mean, one of the things that you've probably noticed throughout the entirety of 0.2 is that nothing's really too far off the beaten path. So it's not too horrendous. Also, you can see the cogs in my mind working there, going, I think the thing's going to be along the path. Yeah, of course, it's along the path with all of the red thorns. But yes, that is the end of the fairy bouquet. And there's an extra chest down here. So it's definitely worth us popping down. And then if we just pop through here, I don't think there's any other real chests in the near vicinity. So we should be alright just once this fight is over to just go on and finish off the Forest of Thorns. In, as I said, what is going to be definitely an experience, as I shall call it. Also, Waterpaws, could you just die so that, you know, I can get to the end of this? Because that would be nice. Yeah, I was trying at this point to unlock the special extra. Oh, that's got some stuff in it, clearly. Like, you don't put red thorns in my way and don't expect me to go chase them down for a treasure chest. But I've completely forgotten what I was saying. Yeah, I completely have forgotten. Treasure is my downfall, clearly. Makes me ever so slightly terrified for how I'm going to end up being in the Kingdom Hearts 3 playthrough, you know, when I get to my parts where I'm basically doing treasure collection. Because having, you know, already edited some of the playthrough already, I know that they're coming. Oh, lovely. But yes, this is the Forest of Thorns basically done. So all that we need to do is just prepare. As you can see, I was sort of waiting for me MP gauge to restore somewhat before I went into this because, as you can see, there's a lot of dark sides and they're going to be quite deadly.
Okay then.
So, yeah, we need to get to the dark side, supporting the dark orb, and we're just getting completely rained down on by sort of glowy red balls of darkness that are sort of like dark urchins. It's a bit weird. And now we get a full-on boss fight with this dark side, and he's definitely more challenging than all of the previous dark sides. I mean, for starters, he has a lot more health. But also, he has quite a few extra moves at his disposal, primarily to do with, you know, that big stonking orb hanging right up there in the sky. And I'm annoyed that I got too slow there, because I probably could have ended this fight a lot quicker had I actually succeeded. I will say I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to get through this entire fight without getting hit. That feels like a little bit too much of a challenge. It's one that I certainly will not be attempting. I definitely cannot be bothered for that one. But it is nice to have a slightly more challenging dark side boss fight than obviously what we had up to this point in this game. Oh yeah, Spellweaver really don't do as much as you would probably like. But, oh yeah, here comes his devil attack. Which is, it's not too horrendous to dodge. It's just, you just got to make sure that it's in view whenever it tries to launch that, otherwise you're going to have a bit of a nightmare trying to take it down. And oh joy, he's pulling it out again! Just as I'm about to get him down to his last life bar. You see, this is the thing where this particular move can be a little bit difficult, because it's... I'm not quite sure what the tells are for whether it's going to go straight or whether it's going to, you know, curve. Which is clearly how you're meant to dodge that attack, is run into the bit where it's not going to hit, obviously. I maybe should have, you know, just gone full on murder magic right there, and then pulled out the Kiraga right at the end, had it all sort of gone a little bit tits up. But it's okay. The dark side supporting the Dark Orb is defeated, and Aqua is going to have a bit of a moment, I feel. Poor girl.
Tara, Ven.
Aqua. You're...
Tara, you spoke?
Can you see me?
Of course. I see Ven too.
Ven? He's here?
Tara, what's wrong? Don't you see him?
Where are we?
A world the darkness has consumed. Its enchanted dominion.
Consumed. The worlds fell?
What's gotten into you? How do I know that you're Tara? And not the weakness that's in my heart, playing more tricks. Ven, please say something.
Aqua, listen. I promise this is me, but I'm not myself.
What do you mean?
You're using the name Terra. That means you're seeing me the way that you remember me. But your heart is just painting the picture that it so wants to see. The real me is lost in shadow.
Then you're here, trapped in the realm of darkness.
No. My heart has ties to the dark. That must be why we can talk. But I can't see anything, Aqua. If you say Ven is there, then he's like me. An illusion created by your heart.
I understand. Then you and Ven are safe in the outside world?
I think.
That's good. But how did you find me?
I looked here and heard you in the darkness.
Right, but why does your heart have ties to the darkness now? What did you mean, lost in shadow?
Forget about me. Aqua, Xehanort is trying to locate Ven.
He'll never find him. I hid Ven well. I think the reason he's not talking to me here is because he's still there sleeping.
No, I can't control.
This place, is it the Chamber of Waking?
Yes. Who are you? Really?
You don't know? My name.
Aqua, get back!
Tara!
I messed up. Xehanort is part of me. Now he's using me. So you'll tell him where you hid Ven.
Silence!
I won't give in. Aqua, you have to...
Still you struggle!
Tara!
Aqua!
Now you can be one with the darkness!
Ven!
That is enough!
Tara.